Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress Comic News, episode 376. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike.
Hey,
What's going on, Mike?
not a whole lot. Just
I
trying
said
to.
376. This is 378.
Oh, it is 378. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why I said 6.
a couple episodes behind everybody. Derek Robertson's back today. Going to be chatting with him. You know, pretty cool. Talking to the creator of one of the creators of The Boys, as The Boys is going on. Going to talk about his new book, Greaser, Gemini Blues. It's like another sci-fi wacky comic. So, looking forward to that. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. Read a lot of comics. I'll be on vacation next week. I'm going to read even more comics. I have a pile of comics I'm bringing with me. I'm just going to sit on the beach in New Jersey and read comics. It's going to be great.
Nice. On the other hand, I didn't read much. Bunch of stuff from... Yeah, what I did read was like review stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah, that'll be helpful.
But yeah, I got like a mini vacation coming up next week.
Nice.
Doing nothing. It's gonna be great.
That's gonna be great. I did discover. Well, I didn't discover. I finally set it up. We do have a lot of news, so we could jump into it. But I started using this program called Spell Table because everybody. I don't know if you listen to the show, you know I play Magic: The Gathering because I'm a huge nerd. But Spell Table, so it was this third-party app, Chris, that takes your like camera and allows you to play all like Magic style games like Standard, Commander, which is 4-player. And what it does is you angle your camera down at the cards, and everybody's like formatted on the screen to play against each other. And a couple years ago, Wizards of the Coast even bought it and like updated it and did all this crazy shit, like does tournaments with it, promotes it now. But like you can, so when people play cards, you can actually click on them with your mouse, and there's like a database that like scans the card and pops it up on your screen, so you can read everybody's cards. I actually prefer it than going to the Magic shop and playing now because 1, it doesn't smell. 2, it's climate controlled because the game shops around me, the AC sucks when it's like 90 degrees out. 3, you're in the comfort of your own home, so you can, get up, go grab a drink, a snack, whatever you want, and it's like you're literally just playing Magic at your desk, and it works really well. I've played it a couple times the last couple weeks. It's awesome.
What is it called again?
Spell Table. Yeah, it's really cool. So if anybody ever wants to get back into Magic, and you can make teams like rooms to play with your friends, and there's a Discord for it, and the community is really chill. So it's awesome.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done very little this week.
Yeah, I mean, playing Magic isn't doing anything. I played Magic. It's not.
Well, I don't know if you had issues with this week, but like over here in I guess I'm more Western New York.
Western New York, yeah.
We had tornado warnings.
So we had some of that here, but it was all north of me in Central New York area. So
yeah, I literally got things on my phone that were like, get to a basement. Yeah. There's tornadoes coming, and I'm like, if it takes me, it takes me.
I could go like Pa Kent, and Man of Steel.
Exactly, but it ended up being like people got damaged. Like there were some bad winds. There were some touchdowns. Like you could read all about it. Weather authority's been up here like surveying shit, but it's nothing like what you see down like.
Yeah,
the southeast,
but it's not anything we're used to either. So like that shit.
No,
yeah, right.
It's like Texas getting snow, man. Like
yeah, shit's going wild.
Yeah, but it was a little windy. Got some rain.
It's funny because I was visiting a customer in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the customer brought me and the salesperson out to lunch. It was like a Tuesday at like 12 noon, and actually the sales guy and I were driving the customer to lunch. And we're like about to pull into like Jimmy John's or some shit like that. And all of a sudden the loudest siren starts going off that I've ever heard in my entire life, like a tornado siren. And this thing was like shaking how loud it was. And like, we're sitting at this like red light, like, what the fuck do we do? It's a tornado. And the customer in the back, like, isn't reacting. And I was like, do we have to gun it? Like, they go, oh no, that's just the drill that happens once a week. every Tuesday or something like that. I was like, so you got, oh, okay, so this is just a weekly thing for you guys, like, and we were like about, you know, shitting our pants, like, what do we do? They're like, oh no, it's just a drill. Like, oh yeah, we're totally not from around here. Like, yeah, the Dust Bowl has dealt with that shit.
Yeah, I just had to clear up some debris. It was like, and the scale of like storms we've had so far this summer, it was actually one of the milder ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like my basement didn't flooded, so you know, wind.
Yeah, right.
I had that happen already this year, so
there you go.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. Other than that, it's just been fucking work and
working,
taking care of shit. You know, being an adult.
Yeah,
don't do it, kids. Just don't do it.
That's why I have a podcast to not be adults. Speaking of that, let's jump into it. We got quite a bit to talk about today, folks.
Yes.
So Netflix released the trailer for the 4th and final season of the Umbrella Academy, and I was just telling Chris, I don't remember what happened at the end of the 3rd season. I kind of remember now, but he's gonna roll the credits here, or roll the trailer. That's the brother that's missing that has the tentacle.
That's the one that died. So yeah, if you remember, they went back in time. I'm a little sketchy on the details because I was telling you I'm going to rewatch probably most of it before this happens. But and they went back in time and like the timeline set. So now we're in kind of a multiverse thing, kind of an MCU multiverse thing.
Created a different timeline.
Yeah.
Than the previous timeline.
But it looks, I mean, I do remember really loving the show. It's been on for a long time. There's Nick Offerman, everybody.
Yep, everybody. Nick Offerman with the crazy facial hair.
Those great, like the mutton chops that like go into the mustache.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, if I had a better mustache, I'd pull that shit off. But yeah, I mean, it looks great. I love the Umbrella Academy. It's nice that they're just saying this is the final season. We're done with it. We're not going to try to expand it or anything.
Yeah.
I am super excited to get this back. I mean, it's just been a show that I absolutely adored from moment one, a comic that I absolutely adored from the moment I first read it. Yeah, it's really great to see it, kind of everybody really loving it and seeing what's going on with it. So
we've gotten past like the comics, I believe now, right? Like this is all, I think they're just doing their own shit here for this last season.
I believe so. It's funny because I own the entire series because I bought those library editions last year. I think it's beyond what I've read though.
Yeah,
because I've read the first 3 volumes and I'm trying to remember where the 3rd volume ends, and I think it's the 3rd season. So yeah, we'll see. But there's some. Yeah, this cat here is really funny. Slow motion cat.
Slow motion cat.
Strip Magic Mike sequence.
Yeah. Santa Claus. And what's his name? Again. And that other actor from what the hell's he from? I've seen that guy with the glasses.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it looks good. I'll be watching it.
Dude, was it August 8th coming out?
Oh shit, yeah, that's less than a month away.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to.
It's almost like Netflix is like, oh fuck, we forgot to drop the trailer. It's less than a month, so someone play it.
It's funny because I've been reading a lot like Netflix. Do you remember that show American Vandal Netflix did?
Yeah, the like fake documentary stuff.
The mockumentary and everything.
Yeah.
It actually like Netflix canceled it because they wanted to do more. But they held the rights and it just like lapsed, and now the creators are like, we can do something with it, so they're like shopping it around to people, and I guess CBS is interested.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what.
As a creator, you must be so pissed. You just have to like sit around and not do anything with your property.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so annoying.
Just let them do something.
Yeah, let them cook. You know.
Yeah, Umbrella Academy. I'm there for it.
Yeah, me too. Star Wars Acolyte Episode 7, Chris. What's going on with this show?
Yeah. So this episode retells the series of events from like episode 3, where we were in the past and the twins were kids, but from the perspective of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't know. You didn't learn much. Other than it may not have been as like, it's just going back to that they're trying to like make it gray. Like the Jedi aren't the greatest of people. And I'm like, okay, fuck off. It took this many episodes for us to see a Wookiee Jedi ignite a lightsaber.
7 episodes, folks.
Yeah. And really, it's like, yeah, we learned that there's kind of gray areas here, and that's about it. And I don't know, it's just written poorly. It's not great. I think there's one more episode left, so obviously I'm going to finish it. But there's no, even if you're into the Star Wars, like you want to get into the Star Wars, like the Skywalker saga stuff. If that's all you've watched and you're like, well, I got to know it so I know what's going on. This has nothing to do with any of that. I see no reason for anyone to watch this, honestly. Like at this point, unless the ending just like blows me the fuck away.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the show is doing. It's
Sorry, dude.
Poorly written.
Sorry. The Boys, season 4, episode 7. Yeah, great episode.
I didn't watch it, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. So. I'll say no like shock and awe in this episode. There's a big fight scene, basically, and without spoiling anything, there's a lot of fighting going on. The deep is kind of going off the deep end, quote unquote.
Pun intended.
Pun intended for sure. And like they're showing some more like severing ties between Homelander and his son. His son kind of doesn't really care for the shit that he's like making him do. We see more of Homelander doing some crazy fucking shit, just being an absolute savage of a person. And yeah, without spoiling too much for you, I think it's still good. It's good. There's no like major things that happen in the plot. There's a lot of cool stuff that kind of moves the plot along. So I think you're really going to enjoy the episode, and we finally get somewhere because A-Train's still helping them out and stuff like that. So interested to see how it all wraps up in the end.
For that finale.
Yeah, Butcher's coughing his brains out and sick as shit. So we'll see what happens to him. So out of nowhere, we had a movie trailer drop last week. Captain America: Brave New World. Chris, there it is.
Here it is, everybody. I'll
let you talk about it because I have my own opinions, but I'll let you give me what you think as a Captain America fan.
It looks okay.
Okay, that's what that was my thought. We get a lot of Harrison Ford.
I think it's a bad trailer.
Yeah,
I think so that's its biggest sin.
Yeah.
I see all the like talk online about like, well, they added in a character after principal filming and they did this and that. And I'm like, yeah, none of you paid attention during the good MCU days either, because that all happened. Like,
right.
These aren't signs that it's failed. It's just how the MCU machine has worked forever. It's okay. Thunderbolt Raw. Like, I do like the thing where it's like, oh, you changed your look to like mention that they changed actors.
Right.
He's like, yeah, shaved the mustache. Thunderbolt Ross is the president. I'm pretty sure I've done that in the comics, so it's fine. The idea of Cap being like a part of the government, this is all stuff we've dealt with in the past. They obviously could never have done this story with Steve, because Steve would have told him to fuck right off.
Yeah.
I think the flying sequences look good. I think Esposito there looks fantastic.
Yeah, Esposito as a menacing villain that he's playing in everything now.
Yeah. I'm here for blowing up the White House.
Sure. Yep.
Like this sequence here where they're flying is cool.
Yeah.
It's just not a great first look at this thing.
I think the thing I'm most excited for,
and then real quick, Red Hulk.
There's Red Hulk really quick. The thing I'm most excited for is the interviews Harrison Ford is going to be doing while he's like, because he's just such a grumpy old man. He's already said some stuff like, I think people like, interviewers ask him questions like who would win in a fight, like Indiana Jones or Han Solo, and he'd just be like, shut up. Like, I'm not answering that. Or like they'll ask him questions about like Han Solo's favorite food, and he'll be like, is George Lucas dead yet, or something like that. He just like he's crazy, man. He totally does not give a fuck about fandom stuff. I think he's just like so over that, but he just comes off as a grumpy old man. I love his interviews.
I'll say there's really nothing they could do to not make me a day one watcher or weekend one watcher. But like, I thought the trailer was just weak, and it just didn't
Yeah.
show. It showed very little Cap, and it seemed like it was a lot of we have Harrison Ford. Everybody, look at this.
We paid for Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that's really it. I think this is the movie that like it's going to be like kind of an espionage action movie.
Yeah,
and this is the one that's going to lead to like a new era of Avengers and what the Avengers are going to be. There's a mention of what happened during the Eternals movie, with the big celestial like half out of the Earth. So they're finally acknowledging that. I mean, I've seen bad trailers that turn into great movies, so I don't want to put too much judgment on it. I just think that this trailer is just not great.
And I don't think they didn't really show a lot, like you said. It was just Harrison Ford talking, pretty much.
I did love the flying sequence, though. It reminded me a lot of or like the early Iron Man movies when we saw him like flying around.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Yeah,
you got to give me more though. I want some more comic book stuff.
And I'm here for Red Hulk too. Like Red Hulk's cool.
Red Hulk's awesome.
It's gonna be really funny to see Harrison Ford's face on a Hulk too.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want. I like. There's no way he ever like. There's no way he got to the point where he's wearing like anything that he'll look like Red Hulk. Like it's all going to be CGI'd. Like
it's the same shit that Ruffalo did.
Ruffalo
like
does,
But that's what I want. I want the behind the scenes footage of him in the like capture machine where they have all the cameras around him.
So what do I do?
And him just doing like the faces like ah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'll be watching it too for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
What? 2 weeks away from Deadpool? So
oh shit, yeah, Deadpool Wolverine. Yeah, I keep seeing like Heineken commercials for it.
Did you see the date commercial for it?
No, the date one. No.
Oh, I'll have to send it to you because it's not something we could show on here because we'd have to do the audio and then I get copyright problems. Yeah. But it's literally like Deadpool trying to convince Wolverine to like sit on the couch all seductively and talk to like women to be like, this is why you should take your man out on a date to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And then at the end, like, because Wolverine's having nothing with it, he like doesn't want to do it. And so Deadpool just starts making jokes about it, and they just zoom in on Hugh Jackman's ass the whole time.
That is amazing. Yeah, the Heineken one looked like they just literally like were filming the movie, and they handed them Heinekens in the woods. They're like, okay, now do this quick commercial, and then we're going back to filming the movie. It's like, okay.
I'll give him this. Like, I've always been the Deadpool hater, but I do like that Ryan Reynolds has fun with it. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, he for sure does.
Because I bet you those commercials were shot during the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course they were, and they just didn't drop character. But and I think with that, we'll just jump into the comic book news, everybody. Some interesting stuff happening this week. So something we missed last week, Marvel's celebration of Iron Fist's 50th anniversary and the one-shot special coming out. This comic with stores next month, and Marvel just released some new covers for the special. Iron Fist 50th anniversary special number 1 will feature stories from Frank Thierry, Ty Templeton, Jason Liu, Wilchi Porticcio, Chris Claremont, Alyssa Wong, and many more. Very cool. I'll probably have to get this. Did not know it was the 50th anniversary of Iron Fist. That's really cool. I don't believe we have an ongoing Iron Fist book right now. I don't know if they've done much with the character.
I was thinking about that because I was looking at next week's books and doing the top 5 video, and Namor comes out, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was talking about how Namor is one of those characters I don't get a lot of singular books about Namor.
Right.
He's usually like a character that shows up in other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was writing up the show, and I'm like, although I think you've eaten well the past couple of years, it's been a while, and there are like gaps where Iron Fist doesn't show up much.
Yeah, there wasn't Iron Fist, but they had the Shang-Chi stuff for a while.
And so you've kind of jumped back and forth between those two.
Yeah, and they kind of stopped that after a while. So maybe.
And then I was thinking about it. DC hasn't done an Aquaman book in a while either.
Yeah, it's weird how these things, just drift out when we don't realize it.
This isn't for me, but I know that you'll be excited.
Yeah, I'll be checking this out. Some cool covers there. DC Comics announced some variant covers for August, which include Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice. What? One that is included is a variant of Batman 152, which also includes Keaton's version of Batman. That's really cool. The Beetlejuice with Keaton Batman. That's a wild cover. That's pretty awesome that they're doing something like that.
Yeah,
Oh
I think both the DC and Marvel have done a fantastic job of like cool variant covers.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
And this one, honestly, I saw the news of it and I couldn't believe it was real.
Yeah,
because I'm like, this is so like out of pocket. Like,
yeah, like Beetlejuice is just like Swamp Thing and Beetlejuice. That's crazy. I mean, the covers are great, but like, it's not something I ever would have thought of.
Like no, I never would have. And then just that Batman cover, man. Like,
yeah,
to get it's even more genius to be like, not only are we gonna do Beetlejuice covers, but why not make the Batman cover the Batman '89 Batman?
Yeah,
like it's so perfect. So
yeah, they really just went all out. This one is fantastic too.
Yeah, I think I like all of them pretty much. Even the Wonder Woman one is really good. I think the Superman one's the weakest in my opinion, but
yeah, on the couch. Yeah,
but they're still. And then yeah, we got Nightwing.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
So
yeah, these are really cool. Is he spanking Nightwing's ass? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, look at how luscious that cheek is right there.
He's smacking his ass. See the smack?
And that is one defined ass cheek.
That's hilarious.
To go back to our friend Richard Fairgray.
Yeah. I can't believe they literally put a cover with Nightwing getting spanked. I can't believe that's going into print. What the fuck? How did we miss this? Yeah, that should be the news. DC's releasing a juicy ass cover of Nightwing and he's getting spanked by Beetlejuice. What the fuck? That's awesome. This is gonna sell for $200. Speculators, look out!
Oh yeah, this is gonna be hot.
This is selling out off the shelves easily.
And listen, everybody, in 2 years when I see when Beetlejuice comes out,
yeah, yep,
and I see the variant cover with Beetlejuice smacking Power Girl in the ass, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it.
Nightwing first.
We did Nightwing first. Nobody said shit. Oh my god, it's amazing.
I got a lot to say about this next one. So
yeah, this is pretty interesting. There's been some rumors circulating that DC is planning an Ultimates-like universe, reportedly titled the Absolute Universe. Bleeding Cool is reporting that this is in fact coming and will be announced at San Diego Comic-Con with an October release. Claims to have an image from the SDC San Diego Comic-Con ashcan and says what the creative teams will include. So before we get into the creative teams, calling it Absolute Universe. Oh, there he is. Oh shit. Okay, that's pretty sick. Calling it the Absolute Universe makes me think that this is going to spin out of the whole absolute power.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I also was doing the math with a friend, and the finale for Absolute Power comes out after San Diego Comic-Con. Almost directly after. So
they know what they're doing.
Timing works out. Yeah, I think something out of that event is going to bleed into whatever this is.
So right now we're looking at Absolute Batman from this ashcan cover, which that Batman is sick looking. That art, I'm guessing it's Nick Dragotta that did it.
Mm-hmm.
That symbol looks like the Dark Knight Returns symbol. Although I don't think it is Dark Knight Returns Batman. I think it's just
it just looks like a giant black square to me.
Yeah, it's got like little, I think
little hooks on it, but
yeah, it's like hard to tell. So this would be Absolute Batman. So we have a list of some creators and things. Absolute Batman, written by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. Instantly reading this book. Don't give a fuck if it's real or not. I read it. It's getting read. Absolute Superman, written by Jason Aaron. Oh, what? Okay. Absolute Wonder Woman, written by Kelly Thompson. Oh, what? This is like better than the mainstream books they're putting out. What the fuck? Other creators involved with no project attached yet are Che Grayson, Jeff Lemire, Janoy Lindsay, Pornsak Pichot, okay, Nick Robles, Rafa Sandova, Denise Camp, and Hayden Sherman. Okay, DC. This is really crazy. If this is true, they're just going to drop a bomb at San Diego.
So I'll start with Dennis Camp is also writing the Ultimates. I think that's very interesting.
Oh. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that because I had never seen him on a DC thing right now.
So I think it'd be hilarious if like he writes the Absolute Justice League, or if we just call it the Absolutes. I don't know.
The Absolutes, absolutes.
So obviously, when this gets announced, we will talk about it again there, because then it'll be official. We can go into more details about the actual books themselves.
Right.
As this stands, like, it's not the first time DC's tried this. We did the Earth one.
Yeah.
And Earth one was fun. It just didn't go anywhere. I thought it was a bad format.
Yeah.
And didn't tie in enough to it. There was a lot of problems with
it kind of stood out on its own as its own thing.
It felt like a bunch of like singular series and not as much a intertwined thing, which is why I bring this up, because Scott Snyder apparently is the architect for the universe as a whole.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So he has he's the Jonathan Hickman of the Absolute universe, apparently.
Interesting.
Once again, this is all rumor, speculation, blah, blah, blah. None of this is official.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Like, I will probably end up dropping like regular DC books to just like go full force into Absolute.
Yeah, this is like Kelly Thompson on Wonder Woman, Jason Aaron on Superman. I'm reading all three of these books that they come out as they say that. Like
that Trinity right there, I'm in for all three. Yeah.
I'm definitely reading all three of those.
I hope they don't try to oversaturate. Like, I think Ultimates is doing it perfect. 4 books. That's it. That's all you need. Well, let me see. Wait, Spider-Man, Black Panther, X-Men, Ultimates. Yeah, 4 books. That's all you need. So, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Okay.
Start with the Trinity.
Hopefully these other names are like mini series of characters.
Yeah, or like one shots would be cool.
Yeah, like don't expand the line to like 8 books, because then you immediately ruin the idea. Like, the Ultimates always worked because it's been a trim line that you could get all of and keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes Ultimates work. That said, fucking right, like Jeff Lemire, Pornsack Pacheco.
Yeah, like what?
Like, yeah,
just hiding these names.
You have my attention.
I want to see Pornsack do like a Swamp Thing or something.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, I wonder with a 4th book what you do. Do you do like a, like you said, like a series of one shots, or like an anthology book that's like every issue is a different character? I don't know what you call it. Like, maybe just call it Absolute Universe.
Tales from the Absolute.
Yeah, maybe give everybody like 4 issues inside that series to like tell a story about a character.
Yep.
And then eventually like ring it all into a big thing called the Absolutes or Absolute Justice League, or whatever you're gonna call it.
Yeah, Absolute Justice is definitely the title.
Oh, that's fantastic. Actually, I didn't think about that. It's good.
You know, they're sitting in the writer room like, this just makes the best titles: Absolute Batman, Absolute Justice. Like,
I will say one thing. I love Nick Dragotta.
Yeah,
he's one of those artists it's a very particular thing he has to be drawing.
Mm-hmm.
His like normal people faces and like designs can be a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that read East of West, like his work fit perfectly for that world. I will be a little concerned with how he handles the superhero universe.
If that's his Batman, I love that Batman.
The Batman looks great. I'm more worried like when Gordon shows up.
Yeah.
And he's just like a dude.
Yeah.
And he tends to draw the same type of character, because I've seen him in like Marvel stuff.
Yep.
And he'll draw characters and I'll be like, that's a character from East of West.
He's like a Corey Walker or Invincible, where like everybody has the same weird face.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting. I just, all in all, I think this is a fascinating story, and it's kind of been bubbling behind the scenes. I've been reading about it, but then when this dropped, I was like, well, we got to talk about it at least.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy, especially Bleeding Cool dropping it.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con's right around the corner, isn't it?
Next week, I believe. Is
it that close? Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, next weekend.
I'm here interviewing somebody, and he said that. I forgot who we were talking to, but they told us. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it's Deadpool weekend.
Yep. Gonna be wild.
Damn. Yeah, I'm so excited. Like I've been following what some of the people have been talking about with San Diego, and I think there's gonna be some bombshells dropped at San Diego.
Yeah,
including Marvel doing ROM. It's happening this year.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Finally gonna happen this year, everybody.
Chris is gonna get the one fan's hopes up. The other ROM's fan. There
are literally dozens of us, Mike.
Dozens. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm really excited to see. I hope this is true. I mean, Bleeding Cool talking about it. They're pretty reputable, so
I think at this point it is true. Like,
yeah,
there's just no way. Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Dark Horse announced a new comic series titled Living Hell. This comic will be written and drawn by Caitlin Yarsky. Hey, shout out to Caitlin Yarsky from the show. That Chris, you met her at the Buffalo Con, right? Was she drawing the hockey book?
No, you're thinking about Stephanie Phillips.
Stephanie Phillips wrote the hockey book. Huh. Okay. Well, she's from that area, though, I think.
She's from Rochester. Well, no, Rochester. She's not from Rochester. She lives in Rochester.
That's right. She was a friend of a friend from like my sister's side. Okay. That's how.
Yeah, someone in your family knew her, and I saw her at a convention locally. I can't remember which one.
Okay, well, good for her. She's on a Dark Horse book, writing and drawing it. That's awesome. So Living Hell, the plot revolves around Jerome Jamil, a loving father and husband who also happens to be a demon. Oh no. He's fled his former prison of hell to live incognito on Earth as a bartender, hiding in plain sight. Jerome is determined to stay out of trouble, but when he kills one of hell's most vicious bounty hunters in self-defense, he inherits the job, an infernal bailiff, hunting down his own kind. Jerome soon faces a range of ancient deities and monsters, from the human-eating ghosts known as Jikiniki to psychopomps like Baron Samedi. But with every act of betrayal, Jerome loses a little more of his hard-earned humanity. Oh, that sounds really cool. I'll probably check this out. I love the monsters in the background. I think those are cool.
Yeah, I liked her work on Black Hammer when she was doing that series for a little while. She did
that was really
12
cool.
issues.
Yep.
Yeah, Caitlin's always had awesome art. She's done some cool stuff at Image and a few other places.
Yeah, I like those. I like the demons in the background. They're kind of menacing looking.
Yeah, and it has a very Japanese flair to it.
Yeah, it does. Very interested in it.
So I'll be interested to check it out. I don't know. This might be a trade weight for me. Mm-hmm. There's so much coming out, man. And then,
I know.
I mean, we just talked about Absolute, which is almost guaranteed to add like 4 books to my pull list.
Oh, yeah. Easily. So we'll see.
Yeah, this will probably be a trade weight, but it looks really cool. And everybody should check out at least the cover, because I think the cover is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
And it's got a good little puppy on it.
Yeah, cute doggy. I have to find out what the dog. Don't touch the dog. Don't hurt the dog, please.
Caitlin, do not kill the dog.
Keep the dog for at least 6 issues.
This is a rule, everybody.
Yeah.
Just stop killing the dog.
Yeah. I don't want to read comics to see the dogs die, please. You have a chance to keep that dog immortal within the pages of your comic. So do that. Just make that choice. Oni Press announced that their Sectar series is coming this October. It will be written by Dennis Culver with art by Ramon Box. Writer Dennis Culver called it Game of Thrones, but with bugs instead of dragons. The cover looks wild. Looks like a straight up 90s comic. Millennia passed on the distant planet Symbion. Symbion? A genetic experiment failed and evolution took a strange turn. The result of this cataclysm, a world where insects can grow to monstrous proportions and whose inhabitants have taken on the weird and wondrous characteristics of insects themselves. Telepathically bonded in battle, Sectar's warriors unite with their insect companions in the ultimate fight for survival. Return to the fantastic alien realm of Symbion as the heroes of this classic 80s toy line return to forge their legend anew in an all-new series from Oni Press and the Nacelle Company. The art and the covers are really cool. It looks like He-Man with bugs. I don't particularly care for bugs, so I probably won't be reading this, Chris, but good on them for doing this.
Whether I check it out or not, and this is a point of privilege and I recognize it, is whether they send me a review copy.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought the Cellverse number 0 was really good. And they did not
read some of the other books, right?
Well, they did not send us RoboForce.
Okay.
Which that was a whole like behind the scenes debacle.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just us. It was like they didn't send it out to anybody. And I thought it was a weird thing.
Okay.
And then they did send a review copy for Biker Mice from Mars, so I will be reading that.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. I thought when then the Cellverse number 0, like I said, it was showing this one character. He went through like all the different universes in the Cellverse, all the different worlds because they're all connected. So they went to the Sectars world. We got a little taste of them. They were pretty interesting. And then they went to this world, and they went to Mars, and so on and so forth. I thought they were cool and everything. Like the design's cool. Yeah, it's a lot of bugs. There's a lot of like medieval England mixed with like feudal Japan in there.
Interesting.
So I think it's a cool, neat book. I'm just very interested in this 3-issue miniseries thing they got going on. Like,
yeah,
is this going to be it, or this them testing the waters? Because like 3 issues, you can do that a quick story and see if people are interested or not. I'm just very fascinated with what they're doing here.
Maybe they're trying to gauge it with just 3 issues somehow.
Yeah, see how the sales go for all of them, and then maybe later on we'll get something bigger. I'm not sure what their plan is, but
yeah,
we'll see. Like I said, whether I check it out or not will come down to that, because my pull list is there's a lock on that thing, man.
Multimedia company BitBot Media teamed up with video game developer Crystal Dynamics last year to produce multimedia versions of their IP. We learned this week the first project to come from the partnership will be an original graphic novel prequel to the classic video game Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, subtitled The Dead Shall Rise. The OGN will be written by Joshua Viola and Angie Hodap, with art from Juan Samu, and will be launching on Kickstarter sometime this month. I never actually played Soul Reaver, but I know a lot of people love the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So most of my knowledge is on Soul Reaver. I've looked back at Legacy of Kain, and like I really would love for them to release those so I could play them.
Yeah,
because they're vampire video games, like they're vampire RPG video games, and they're actually written by what's her name? It's the woman who wrote Uncharted.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'm sorry, I'm just knowing her name, but she's like legendary in the industry too.
I think I tried these games once on PlayStation.
Yeah, I had this one for the original PlayStation.
I think that's I
got a Amy Hennig.
Okay.
Amy Hennig is the writer, and she did she's written a ton of stuff, including Legacy of Kain, Jack and Dexter, Uncharted.
Yeah, she's got a pretty big.
Yeah, I love the Soul Reaver games. I will probably pick this up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, it's just one of those games. I remember I played this with my father growing up. Like, we would sit around and play it together, and like almost like brothers, just like passing the controller back and forth. We couldn't beat apart and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, the Legacy of Kain series, specifically Soul Reaver, is like etched in my brain as something really important and something that like I absolutely love. So
nice.
To see this news was huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's going to Kickstarter. It's going to blow up on Kickstarter for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what I find interesting is like they teamed up with Crystal Dynamics, which people can go listen to a video game podcast, see what's going on with Crystal Dynamics right now. But they like Crystal Dynamics has so much IP, including Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's do a Soul Reaver comic.
Yeah, that's wild that they just picked Soul Reaver.
Like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. It's such a cool design. Yeah, hopefully this means we'll get more of this like in the future video game wise. But yeah, I'm here for it.
Penguin Random House's division, Penguin House Publishing Group, has announced that they're finalizing a deal to buy Boom Studios, which is crazy. This deal is set to close at the end of summer, and we'll see Disney sell off their minority stake in Boom Studios along with it. The minority stake was acquired through the purchase of 20th Century Fox in 2017. Currently, Boom Studios has multiple projects in production for Netflix and Universal, like Berserker, Something is Killing the Children, and A Vicious Circle. It is said that Boom Studios will maintain their LA offices and continue to publish through their 4 publishing lines and any IP like Power Rangers, Dune, Garfield moving forward. Also interesting to note that they plan to continue to distribute through Diamond for their monthly comics and Simon & Schuster for their trade paperbacks. Interesting that they're keeping that.
So I think the end part there you mentioned, that's got to be contracts. Like once those contracts are done.
Yeah, they're not doing that anymore. Yeah. Why would they?
This is interesting. Like, Penguin Random House teamed up with Marvel to do distribution, and now they're like a big competitor with Diamond and Lunar right now.
Yeah, they're like distributing, but also becoming a competitor, which is very strange.
Well, and remembering that Penguin Random House was also like they're a big book publisher,
right?
So it's not like it's outside of their wheelhouse to publish stuff. And I think they got insight into the world of comics by working with Marvel, and said, "Let's get in that." My only concerns are, I think Boom's been doing some great stuff recently.
Yeah.
For one, I'll be interested how much Mark Waid is still influencing them, because he's still a big part of Boom and like behind the scenes with them. I'll be interested to see where a lot of these IPs end up in the coming years, how the like independent stuff happens, like stuff like Man's Best, stuff like Animal Pound, and all these other books they're making. Like, do we still keep getting these at this caliber? There's just a lot of questions here.
Yeah.
Who stays on the payroll too is important. Like, people actually making the decisions at the ground floor.
Right. We're not kicking out writers and stuff.
I'm more thinking editors and stuff.
Oh yeah,
because those are the people that bring in the big writers and talk and are. I mean, we talked about it with Hive Mind. Like, those two guys went to Magma because those guys were from IDW and they knew them. So they're like, hey, when they started Magma and they came to them to be like, hey, do something with us, they said, okay, we know you, we trust you. Like, those relationships matter. So
yeah, that's true. Yep.
There's just a lot I'm interested in with this, and I think
especially in a small industry like comics. Yeah, so there's a lot of moving around going on. So we'll see what comes out of it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and this is not the last we've heard about this. I like I said, there's some contract with distribution right now, and we'll see that all this.
It's weird that they got sold off because Boom wasn't doing stuff that you would see out of like a financial decision to sell off the company. They were doing stuff to push out just good comics, and then they, to be. So, like, I don't think they're going to get. I wouldn't expect them to get sold and have a huge overhaul, because they were doing things right the last few years. So
yeah, but I think them getting like a Vicious Circle being a big thing and becoming a movie possibly, and then Berserker just on its own.
Yeah, that's true.
Were big IPs that like somebody saw and said this could be a moneymaker.
Yeah,
but I think just all in all, it's Penguin Random House said, we know how to publish stuff. We've done it in the book realm.
Right.
We've worked with Marvel and we see how it's going. This is just another avenue for us to publish stuff and to bring in. Like, it wouldn't shock me if we see some of the writers, like the novelists from Random House, be like, well, what if we do a comic based on like,
right.
It's all synergy, people. Like,
or we do a comic off the novel.
There's got to be some big novel that I don't know of that Random House has that we're going to see announced as a comic here in the next couple of years, or just a novelist who's like, I have an idea for a comic.
Yep.
And it's an easy transition over for them because they're already working with Random House.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Cool stuff. I guess now we'll talk about what we read this week. Comic books. I don't know. I think this is the only one I had from last week that I missed was Rook Exodus #3. You already read that one, I think, right?
Yeah, I read it last week, yeah.
Yeah, so that's John's Fabok. I thought it was a great issue. They get to the sanctuary, ask the other masks for help, and Ursa shows up. Some of the other masks are really awesome, like the ninja stag deer guy. They did a huge reveal of all the different masks. That's what I've been waiting for, is like to see every type of mask within the universe. And for them to show them all off was really cool.
That sequence was really cool. Like when we went through all the different ones.
Yep. Yeah. Gotham by Gaslight-The, Kryptonian Age, Diggle Fernandez. It's a search for these ruins and relics that are related to the Kryptonian Age. They finally, they dropped the name there. Doctor Strange. Well, yeah. The
Hugo Strange?
Hugo Strange. No. From Strange Adventures. That's Strange. Adam Strange, not Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
Adam Strange is commissioned by Batman to go find these ruins, and they get like attacked, and they meet up with Wonder Woman finds them because it's like freezing there, and she's like going to save them. Batman finds some old text talking about Wonder Woman, so Wonder Woman hasn't been around, I guess, yet. And then Constantine is working for the Queen of England, and has the old deal where he found these relics for her, and now the relic is like glowing. So all of this is related. I think the Constantine reveal is really cool. So this issue got me more interested, but still no Kryptonians, Chris. So I think we'll get
more
there.
Batman, it sounds.
More Batman, yeah. It's some mention of the Kryptonian age. Like this was an age that had came and went. So we'll see. Sinister Sons number 6. This is like the wrap up by Tomasi and Georgiev on the art. Sinestro gets the sons to kind of fight each other and gets his son to rage and channel his rage powers to kind of like trick them into being like, see, you guys are powerful. He then like leaves and makes them into this like quote unquote defense force that it's just made up of them two. And he's like, protect the planet. And he kind of leaves and does his own thing. And then they say this story is going to be continued in Green Lantern. So I don't know if like Sinister Sons is ending or if like I think we're going to get more, but it's kind of pushing you to another Green Lantern book right now, which I won't follow. So, but Sinister Sons was fun. I think the ending didn't really stick. So here's a Absolute Power tie-in, which is Green Lantern number 13. Jeremy Adams, Fernando Pearson. It's kind of all over the place. There's a lot of different stories going on within Green Lantern. The one I'll really pay attention to is Waller has Hal Jordan captured and is trying to get his power from him. So like there's a whole sequence of like King Shark is like beating the shit out of him, but he breaks out in the end. There's another side story, the ex of Carol Ferris, like Carol Ferris, either ex-husband or the guy that was going to propose to her, is like really sad about her. I don't know if she died or she left him, but he like is really sad, and he like transforms into like a suit with a whole new symbol and like color. It's almost like grayscale. So they're saying that he was made his own new spectrum of color, which is like sorrow or like sadness, which was interesting.
Oh, this is the sad boy Green Lantern that I saw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alan Scott and the JSA pop up, and they're captured by Amazo in this issue, which is so. I guess JSA is in this issue, which is cool. And it says they'll be seen in Task Force 7, issue 3. So it's kind of all over the place. I read Absolute Power Task Force 7 by Leah Williams and Caitlin Yarsky. So shout out to Caitlin again. It focuses on, this issue focuses on Waller grabbing Billy, Mary, and Black Adam for their Shazam powers. There's a whole thing where the Accountant Dinosaur is at the Rock of Eternity sorting all these magical relics. So it's like a Shazam book for that first issue. So they go to the Rock of Eternity. They have a fight with Amazo. Amazo captures Black Adam, Billy, and Mary. So I'm guessing they get there from the Shazam book somehow. That's what I'm talking about. Everything's all over the place, Chris. Then we get Steve Trevor gets pulled into like where Waller is and is working for her now, and finds out he's working for Colonel Steele, who's not a good guy. So he's kind of like, yeah, all this shit's going down. I think Waller wants to be working for her because I'm friends with Wonder Woman, but I don't think he might not be such a bad guy. I think he's going to try to help out at some point. Outsiders number 9. I might stop reading Outsiders. It's just getting a little too meta for me. It might even be over after this issue. I don't know, but
12 issues.
Okay. It's really meta. I mean, they find out the whole world is dictated by stories, and they find this like temple in the jungle. And it's called like the Cannon, or like Cannon, as in like it's literally this giant gun, but it talks about like destroying worlds and stuff. So I'm literally think it means like, you know, when a story is canon. That's kind of what it's related to. I don't know, like Luke Fox thinks that he needs to destroy the cannon or fire it, and gets in a fight with like Dr. Fate about chaos and order and all this stuff. I don't really know what's going on anymore. Dr. Fate shows up and they're kind of fighting. There's a lot of heavy comic book science here that I don't really understand. So maybe it'll resolve in the next few issues, I hope.
Yes, it's a 12-issue series. So.
Okay.
I'm 2 issues behind. I kind of agree with you, but
yeah.
I'm this far in. Like I'm gonna.
Yeah, I might as well finish it out.
Yeah, because I don't hate it. I just think it's
right.
It's getting a little weird at times.
Like, yeah. Geiger number 4. This is Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. So, you know, his dog gets captured. So they cross this awful airport area that has all these cannibals and they kill a lot of dudes. This issue is like they're just fighting him in the night. Geiger and the Knight are fighting a lot of dudes, killing a lot of dudes. They get to the factory where the villain takes away Geiger's powers and then he shoots Geiger. And that's like where it leaves off, which is a good issue. And then Gatchaman Galactor #1, Steve Orlando and Kath Lobo. I really like this issue. It's like the undercover boss issue of Galactor. He it's a joke of a book, but he takes himself so seriously. Like it's half comedic, but like he doesn't know he's the joke, which I love. He finds out his food's been poisoned, so he goes undercover as a henchman, like and interrogates his chef in the cafeteria, and goes undercover as his henchman and starts like asking around if anybody poisoned him. And then he goes like to the source of it. He goes to the farm that like makes his food, and come to find out like the farmer is like faked his credentials because he's a former like mob boss, one of the mobs that he screwed over. And there's this like whole sequence where he like kills him in the end. And actually he's kind of menacing at the end when he like shoots him. But it was a really good issue. I'm going to keep up with all the Gatchaman stuff. I really like these books.
I wasn't as enthusiastic as you, but I thought it was just okay.
Yeah.
It is like literally this one issue is a one shot. Like, it concludes the whole gamut of like who poisoned them and why. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like the rest of the series is going to be him like uncovering more like problems inside the evil empire.
Yeah, which
I think it'll be a fun series. It was more interesting to me to see like as somebody jumping into this universe and not knowing anybody, like seeing more about what Galactor is and who the lead people are, and it was kind of fun that like the chef had his own like mask and outfit.
Yeah,
and and I liked like all the different agents.
Yeah,
they just looked like Hydra agents. Like there's a lot of good here, but I don't see if you didn't enjoy Gatchaman, I don't think this is.
Oh no, for sure. You gotta be like in Gatchaman.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to this week.
All right, mine's short and sweet. So I read the free comic book day issue of Flash Gordon, which is Flash Gordon #0, leading up to they just gave us Flash Gordon #1, so I'm going to read that sometime this week. And I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a quick story. Like Flash Gordon pretends to be dead to infiltrate Ming, and then bingo bango ends up defeating Ming. Ming has this thing that's going to destroy Earth, and he sets it off right before Flash can end it, but Flash like destroys it and ends up destroying the planet that they're on. And apparently that's where everything starts, is like Flash just destroyed a planet.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Accidentally, but like, he still destroyed a planet to save Earth. And that's kind of where the series Flash Gordon's going to start. So it's an interesting way to begin it. I'll see where the first issue goes. Destro #1 from like 3 weeks ago, I finally read. And this is directly a sequel to Cobra Commander.
Okay.
So it literally just like takes place moments after Cobra Commander ends, because these two meet at the end and they strike a deal. And it's Destro like testing out the new Energon robots and how they work. And you get to see like his organization, him like overthrow a government in the Middle East.
Interesting.
And then he uses that land that he takes over and starts creating like black market arms dealer conferences. So like all the big players come to like his area to have like basically a Comic-Con for black market weapons.
That's crazy.
And then it gets attacked, and the one group that didn't show up for the conference is obviously the one that everybody suspects is attacking it. So there's going to be some sort of like back and forth there. I thought it was really good. Like the G.I. Joe stuff's been great. So
cool.
Deadweights #4, which I think came out last week.
I think it came out this week. Might have.
Does it come out this week?
Yeah.
So
has it gotten better?
It is better.
Okay.
There's a time jump, and then we get to see Cannonball and Boulder like being actual people.
Okay.
And it's kind of enduring because like Cannonball is really like thriving. Like it's New York City, but it's not New York City.
Right.
And he works at a deli, and like he really loves it. Like they hint very heavily that he's like involved with the owner and her daughter, and like they have a little family going on, while Boulder is like more of the guy who really like has like a job for a little bit and gets fired because he's a fuck up basically.
Yeah.
And that's when Paladin Red like shows up for revenge, and it ends with like a big fight sequence where we see Paladin Red like try to get revenge in some way. So I thought this is a lot better, less like torture chamber stuff.
Yeah,
like,
which is nice.
But I see where they're going with it now. I still think I'm failing to see the humor, but
yeah,
I kind of accepted that my expectation for it to be funnier needs to go away based on something that Tom Payer keeps telling us about his books. Maybe this one slipped past the goalie, but I think it's overall it's been a good book, not a great book, but this is one of the better issues. And then Mike, this comes out next week.
Oh shit!
So I can't go too much in detail, but I read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1.
Nice, Jason Aaron's book.
Yes,
nice.
This has already been announced. This isn't spoiling anything, but the first 4 issues are solo stories about a singular turtle.
Oh, cool!
And they already announced this one's about Raph. Sorry.
Nice.
It's really fucking good.
Nice.
Like really fucking good.
Cool.
I don't know what happened in the previous story because I think this is continuing that continuity. But the turtles aren't together anymore. And we find him in jail. And there's some shady business going on because it's a prison. Like,
oh, okay. Cool.
It's very brutal, very violent. Raph is obviously angry about something. They didn't really say what he did to get in jail, so I'll be interested to see what that reveal is. But I thought this was a fantastic issue.
Cool.
And it's Joelle Jones art, which I was really happy about because I don't get to read a lot of her stuff because I don't like Catwoman. So I highly, highly recommend people check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. It's awesome.
Yeah. Mike, that was all I had. So where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on social medias, including Twitter, or at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. And you can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at fortressofcomicnews.com. If you want a sports show, like, subscribe, share, comment down below in the YouTube version. For the podcast version, 5-star reviews in the podcatchers is a huge help. There's also patreon.com/fortresscomics. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week. We'll see y'all here next week.